Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a community update for October 30th, so let's get into it. Alrighty, it is basically Christmas in the raid community. I know it's Halloween, but in terms of holidays in-game, it is Christmas. It is ×2 Ancients. It is probably the #1 thing in terms of giving back to the player base, and in terms of excitement for events, ×2 Ancients is where it is at, and it's one of the more exciting times if you are a Raid Shadow Legends player. So let's just dive right into the news post here. So, boosted summoning rates. This is only going to be for ancient shards, the blue shards. So, you might want to hold on to your voids and sacreds, but you definitely want to be pulling your blue ancient shards. And this says doubling from Wednesday until Friday, November 1st. Doubling chance of ancients to get epics and legendary champions. Now, worth noting, depending on where you live in the world, the time that this is live is going to change. I have no idea when you personally are watching this, but when you're going to pull shards, make sure you go to the portal, click this little eye, and make sure under ancient shards you have a 16 and a 1. That means your chances are doubled. If you see that this is 8 and 0.5, you are outside of the double chance. You know, a couple days from now, if you're waiting or you missed it, I don't know when you're watching this video, but make sure before you summon, this is very important, you're at 16 and 1, and then you know you are good to pull those shards. So also, we're going to go over the tournament and a few other things here. So the Champion Chase Tournament, we've got the rewards on the right. We can see that we, now I really wish that you could click on this and it would show you who the champion is, because it's a small portrait and it can be kind of tough to see, you know, exactly. But this is Suwai Firstborn, and Suwai Firstborn is part of the fusion for the Halloween Harvester Jack, or Harvest Jack. So, and it's actually the last one I need. I have, you know, the 3 over here. I just need Suwai to complete the fusion. I should get her tonight, and then I'll get you know, Harvest Jack maxed out tomorrow and get a guide out there for you. I'll do some testing. I'll crack the case, see exactly how hard he hits. I know there's lots of rumors out there that he hits like a wet noodle, and people are kind of disappointed with the damage that he outputs. I'll dive in, test it out, compare his multipliers and all that. I'll get him maxed out tomorrow and get a guide out there for you guys ASAP. But yeah, Suwai Firstborn is able to be acquired by both the tournament here at 2,500 points, right here on the right side, and then also in the event. We can see here we have a champion training event, and Suwai is down here at 19,400 points. So whichever one is easier for you to get to, you have a chance to earn her twice. I love that by Polarium, giving people 2 different options in terms of acquiring her. That's a good move on their part to you know, just enable more players the opportunity to work hard and get that champion. Now, obviously, let's go over the tournament more in depth than that. So the rewards on the right are, they're okay. And now 2 legendary books at the top, but 10,000 points is going to be extremely tough to get to. If you're wondering your most efficient way to acquire points in the Champion Chase Tournament, it's going to be summoning epic champions out of blue shards. I would, like I said earlier, I would save your you know, voids and sacreds until there's kind of an event revolving, or maybe even a boosted chance on them, but definitely be pulling your blue shards. And if you have good luck with epics or even a legendary or 2, you can acquire points pretty fast over there on that right side. Now, in terms of the rewards for competing against people in your group, these groups tend to be groups of 50 in most events, and then you get rewards in the top 10, and they slowly get better. 50 is a good place to start. This used to start at like 10, so I like that. I wish they were more gems than just that. I would start this out at 50, and then like 75, 100, 125, and 200. That's what I would do. And then 4 is okay. 4, I would start us at epic, though. If you get into the top 5 of a Champion Chase Tournament, I would start these at epic. 4 5-star epic, I'm okay with this, but yeah, I would go 6 epics, and then yeah, okay. So admittedly, gonna be tough to get into the high ranks of this event, because these events are gonna see a lot of people pulling a lot of shards and acquiring a lot of points. So don't feel bad if you can't compete with the people that are pulling a ton of shards over here on the left side. Just worry about, you know, if you're going for the fusion, try to get Suwai. After that, we don't get a whole lot of value, so I wouldn't like go crazy spending money just to get a couple books and some energy, but I would at least try to get Suwai out of this 2,500 if you are able to, if you're in a position where you saved up some shards or you're ready to spend a little bit of money, and that changes based on your circumstances. Let's go over the event quick. I don't think there's a whole lot to cover. We covered it in the other video, I believe. No, not that one. Come on now. The champion training, yeah, again, whichever one's more realistic for you. I would either go with Suwai in the champion training if you're not going to pull a bunch of shards. Try to do your best leveling up champions. You still have a week, so it's definitely realistic. Even if you've fallen a little bit behind, you've got time to catch up. I would definitely be able to get there in a week. I haven't gone like super hard in the paint yet. This is just kind of what I've done in the last like 3 or 4 days since this went live. We can see I'm getting about 2,500 a day or so, so I should be able to get there within 3 or 4 days, just in kind of natural food progression. So all right, now let's go over the offers and talk about how we should kind of manage everything during this event. So let me pull up the calculator here, and in terms of gear sets, this is probably the best one they offer. So Divine Speed is arguably the best set in the game in terms of general usefulness, and how many different heroes can wear it and how many different roles it's going to succeed in. It's a very useful set. So is it worth $20 to gamble on this? Man, it's borderline for me. It obviously depends on your spending and your budget. I don't know if I'll buy one of these. I'm going to be tempted to. We'll see. We'll see how the summoning goes and how I'm kind of doing in the events. I've got till, the rest of the night to decide here. I may pull one of these, but it's one that I'm kind of neutral on. In terms of the gear packs, this is one of the best. It's a full set of 5-star legendary speed with a little bit of energy and silver. I wish the silver was gems instead. I wish this was like 300 gems instead of silver, and then it would be one that I would recommend. As it stands, it's borderline, but in terms of the gear sets, it is one of the best out there. Now let's get to some of these, more the Halloween pack and the Great Mix pack, some of the less common offers. The speed set's more of an offer we see more often. Great Deal Mix pack. Let's go ahead and plug it in here. Let me resize this so we're not blocking half the screen here. Well, I guess I am blocking half the screen. You know what I meant. We're not blocking half the offers here. All right, so 7 epics. This one should grade out borderline, I'm thinking. 2 legendary books. And then this looks like 30-60 brews. This one's probably going to be red, honestly. 950 energy. I'm kind of guessing live on how this is going to grade out. 950,000. That always cracks me up. We just can't make it a million, huh? All right. And then we're going to put it at 34.99. Yeah, it does grade out in the red. So what I would do is I would make this 7 epic books is good, but I would make it 3 or 4 legendary books. 20 of each brew, 2 million silver, and 1,500 energy. That's what I would have made it, and then it would be a pack that I could sit up here and recommend for $35. As it stands, especially during the a time where prioritizing ancient shards is at a premium, I would lean towards recommending that you don't buy this offer. Now, if you pull some crazy legendary or epic that you're super excited to max out, this pack gains a little bit more value, but as it stands, it's going to be one that I tend to not recommend at this point. So now, this is kind of the big deal right now. This is the one everybody's going to be curious about, is how to manage this one and if it's a good offer to scoop up, if it's worth $100. All right, so let's go Ancient Shards at 41. 2150 for gems, 3.5 million silver, and we can see here that it's grading out as worth about $91. But remember, Ancient Shards are buffed right now. It's not a straight 2-to-1 value, I don't think. But if we bump these up to like 2.6, now all of a sudden we see something that's in the green because Ancient Shards are buffed right now. So we have to adjust the value of what they are worth, and now we get an offer that's in the green. I will probably scoop one of these up because I don't want to miss out on participating in the Christmas of Raid Shadow Legends and making it rain with double Ancient Shards. I've been kind of saving and budgeting my spending recently. I haven't bought a $100 offer for a long time, so this is probably going to be one I dive in and scoop up to pull some shards and hopefully get some things worth investing in and you know, progressing my account, especially for like faction wars and stuff. It'd be nice to get a couple of the especially like the Frankenstein. He's a really good new epic I would like to get my hands on, and hopefully a legendary or two. So I'll probably scoop that one up, and this is one that I would recommend. I like how it's 3.5 million silver. We've seen these be like 1 or 2 million silver before, so I like how they're bumping it up to 3.5 and giving us a little bit more silver, because I can swear they made it tougher to go from level 12 to level 16 on artifacts. I feel like I used to be able to do it like 20 to 25% easier than it is now. It seems they made those last few levels just a little bit tougher to make the silver sink in the game a little bit more consistent. So silver has been devalued a little bit in the last couple months. So I like how they're bumping this up to 3.5 to stay consistent with that. Also, right now in the shop, we got this, if you go to the gem shop, we can see here we've got a small shard pack and a big shard pack. These are worth a lot more right now during double shards. So if you're saving up gems, the big shard pack is probably the best way to spend it. You're going to want to pull a lot of ancients during this time, like I've said before. But also, one thing I do want to go over, oh, and you know we can't let our sparring pit sit idle here. Even if we're during a video, we gotta do it. All right. So something I see a lot of people do when they get into a position of summoning a lot of champions. By the way, I will put my tier list down in the video description. So if you're summoning a bunch of rares and epics and stuff and you're kind of overwhelmed, like who's good, who's not, click on my tier list. It's down in the video description. It's very neat and sorted. It ranks everything with an individual number, so you can tell, you know, my personal feelings. It's not a perfect tier list. It's my opinion. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt and make your own decisions, but it'll be a good base starting point for you to kind of look at and decipher between all these champions you're summoning. What I was getting to was I see people getting kind of overwhelmed and summoning a bunch of champions, and they're running out of vault space and they want to summon more, so they start feeding 3 stars for experience. Don't do that. Ideally, so what I do is I have a bunch of like 3 stars that I'm leveling up to level 30. So I'm in preparation of having a bunch of 3 stars that I need to get rid of to make space to summon more. So I've got a bunch of level 30s ready to go to sacrifice 3 rares, and level these up to 4 stars. And then I've got, you see, some 4 stars ready to rock that I can turn those into 5 stars and just keep creating space in my champion pool to summon more ancients. I do see people kind of get lazy or whatever, or just want to be done with it, and they start feeding rares for XP to level up champions, and I strongly recommend not to do that. For the long-term health of your account, you want to be maximizing your progression and your usage of your food. So take the time to do it right. It'll be worth it in the long run. And also, if you're curious on my philosophy on should you hold on to like 1 copy of every rare or not, generally my stance is yes, hold on to a copy of every rare until vault space becomes a problem. So like for me, my vault is pretty much always maxed out. So what I do is I keep a copy of every epic and every void rare. The normal ancient shard rares, I just don't have the space. I can't. There, you know, there's like 400 champions in the game. I can't hold on to a copy of everything. So I have to kind of slowly whittle it down and be more and more selective on what I'm able to hold on to. Typically, rares aren't going to get buffed. We haven't really seen a rare get buffed ever that I can think of. We've seen rares get nerfed, like Executioner and stuff like that. We've seen rares get kind of brought back, Painkeeper, but it's very rare that we see a rare get buffed. So in terms of being worried about, oh, this champion might get buffed at some point, you probably don't have to worry about that with rares, but you do have to worry about that with epics. There is a slight chance they could rework an epic at some point, but it's really the legendaries that you have to keep a copy of, because we've seen, like with Dracomorph, he was kind of an underwhelming legendary, and then they made Dracomorph a god. He's a god tier legendary, and he's one that everybody who fed was definitely kicking themselves. So I had a Dracomorph as a Vault Guardian, and it ended up being really good that I held on to him instead of feeding him for food. So that's kind of my official stance, is prioritize holding on to 1 copy of each void rare, because those are a little bit harder to acquire. But your normal rares, you can feed them and use them to rank up level 30s into 4 stars. So yeah, Anyway, just want to reiterate, before you pull shards, make sure you check this little eye, make sure it says 16 and 1, and you know, definitely let me know down in the comments if you have any questions and how the summoning event is treating you. So yeah, I hope it goes well for you, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.